What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. Today we gonna be reviewing The Witcher Season 2. Just finished watching it not too long ago. Literally like about 30 minutes ago. I had to watch it from the first season though, because I didn't remember too much about certain details in the first season. Since I never really did a review on it either, because it was so long ago. But at the same time, I didn't want to confuse the stuff that I know about the game, because I've played The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Plus, I also know all of the backstory, because before I bought The Witcher 3 to play it, I looked into the gameplay and storyline of the first two games. The first one that came out for PC and the second one that came out for 360, The Witcher 2. So I didn't want to confuse the details of the show with the details of the video game. So, while I like this spliff, why don't you like, subscribe, and comment right now if you want to. No pressure. I'm just gonna... Now, let's get to the review. Also, fair warning, in my normal reviews, I do the review in the beginning of the video and then warn you somewhere in the middle, towards the end, that I'm going to spoil stuff, because I like talking about certain things. I don't feel like doing two separate videos. I feel like that's a waste of time, so I might as well just put it all in one. Unless it's Spider-Man, of course, because there's so much to talk about when it comes to Spider-Man. If you saw that Spider-Man review, you haven't, check it out. But on to The Witcher, Geralt. First, let's start with my rating. Overall, now I'm watching season 1, now have seen season 1 again, and then finish season 2. I'm giving the show a 4.998. And this is why I'm going to start off with the bad before I go on to the good. I don't like certain creative freedoms they took with certain aesthetics of the characters. There's just certain characters like Lambert, Eskel, that I feel should have looked more like their character, because Henry Cavill as Geralt, spot on. Even the girl that plays Ciri, spot on. The girl that plays Triss, though I like her acting and her personality as Triss in the show, in season 1 her hair was darker, it wasn't even red, it was kind of more brunette. And then in this one, you can obviously tell that they dyed it, but it still kind of looks orange, which is fine, except for the fact that her eyebrows are too dark. And I don't like the unfairness of how Yennefer looks closer to her character, minus, the beauty mark. And that she has purple eyes, but yet you don't give Triss green eyes, which to me is kind of like a disservice to the character, because Geralt is supposed to feel conflict between his feelings between Triss and Yen. Obviously, I see that the creators are taking the direction more of him leading to and choosing Yen. However, I feel like it's important to the fans that you create two female characters that are not only empowered women, but also very, very stunning and beautiful. And not to saying that the female actress who's playing Triss is not very beautiful. She very much is. I just think that you could have given her green eyes and she would have looked so much cooler, kind of like Starfire in a bit. Even though this is not DC, but you know what I mean. I mean, in the at least you gave Yen purple eyes. But if you were gonna give Yen purple eyes, Ciri her green eyes, Geralt his yellow eyes, why not give Triss her green eyes? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? So freaking simple. So freaking simple. If you pulled off the purple, why not the fucking green? You might as well, because Triss is just as special as Yen. Maybe not completely as special, but still special. It feels like it's a disservice to the character that she doesn't have green eyes. You know what I mean? Another complaint that I have about the show is, well, I spoke about the characters: Lambert, Eskel, Yen, Triss. I also do not like how you didn't inform people when you were watching season 1. People don't even know that there are 2 different timelines playing at work. You know, Ciri in the present, and also Geralt in the past, leading up to finding Ciri. And I feel like if you would have used some dates in the titles, you know, present day, a few years ago, a few months, so that people understand like the span of time, would be great. Because I don't think people, I don't think that everyone who watches the show will automatically see that some of these episodes are months apart in the timeline, and you know, in their era. I feel like you don't really make that obvious. So, what else? Yeah, I don't like the fact that he can't carry 2 swords. I mean, why not? He always did in the game. I mean, I heard that it would have something to do with like it being a pain in the butt because of the angle or whatever. But I feel like you still could have pulled it off. You definitely could have pulled it off. I understand that Henry Cavill's a big guy, but if I could tell that you already made the sheath a little higher than it usually is, just so that he can reach it, because he has such big arms. I mean, you could have done the same thing for the second one, but I mean, if it kept falling out or there was some issues, you could have just figured it out or something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it kind of takes away from his coolness for not having 2 swords. Or at least, you know, have it on his hill. Like, you know, you have one there and one here. Like, why not? Or 2 like that. At least it still look cool. Not just one and him carrying the goddamn fucking sword suitcase or whatever that is. But enough of the complaints. That is why I get the 4.998. Sorry that I rant a lot. Now for the good. Season 2 is very good. I really love this season, especially because for me, what did it for me for this season is all the scenes with Geralt and Ciri and Yen, because you know they're kind of like the trio of this story. I see now that this show is based off what happened to Geralt before he loses his memory in the video game. See, in the video game, part 1, 2, and 3 play after everything that you're seeing in the TV show. Except in the TV show, obviously they took some creative freedoms with the storyline, because you know the whole game is about choice, how, and you know, certain people taking power and whatever, kind of like Game of Thrones. But in the video game, part 1, 2, and 3 take place after Geralt loses his memory because a wild hunt comes after Ciri, which I think is where they're heading with this. They're probably gonna do that, where he loses his memory and then falls in love with Triss, only to later realize that he forgot Yen and Ciri and has to search for them. There's a lot of things into this story, and I really love this universe. I love the fact that that in the season, just like in the last one, you get to see multiple perspectives of people, kind of like you did in Game of Thrones. And I feel like this show brings me back to that love for these kind of shows, these medieval fantasy, you know, heroic tragedies, kind of like Game of Thrones. Except for Game of Thrones, I didn't really like the fucking ending. But that's for another video. But season 2 was very great. I felt like there were so many things in here that were so important to the story that they did so well. The interaction and relationship with the characters. This season definitely made me even more emotional than the first season. Seeing Geralt's relationship with Ciri and Yen. Honestly, this show is phenomenal. And Henry Cavill. At first, I was iffy about him being Geralt, but now, like, I'm just like, you know what? He's Geralt. He's not only Superman, but he's Geralt. He's definitely Geralt. It's gonna be hard for me to see anybody else play Geralt as good as him. If they were ever to decide to like make a movie or something, you know, hell, you should make a movie with Henry Cavill. You know, maybe later on after a couple seasons. But I also saw that after the end of season 2, you get a trailer called Blood Origins. So I guess they're doing a show to explain what happened all those 100 years ago with Ciri's ancestors and other people's ancestors. You know, the war between the elves and the humans. I find the whole story about the conjunction and the spheres, like when you really pay attention to the lore in the story, it's so great. It's so great. You know, because it's basically like, wow, it's like space is involved too. Science is involved in this. Not just myth or magic, but also science, like the conjunction of spheres, the fact that humans, creatures, elves, they all came from other universes or other dimensions. These spheres could be like other Earths that all lined up, and then, you know, that's how they ended up all on the same world. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. That's why I love this show so much. And I love the game even more. I wish they would come up with another game, man. Like, I've played Witcher 3 like 3 or 4 times. At least 3 times I've beat it. I think the 4th time I didn't really finish it yet. But, you know, I did it to like you know, see the different choices I could make in the game. Like, there's so much to the game, so much. There was one time I stayed there playing Gwent for almost the whole day in the game, like I was in the world, you know? Kind of lost myself in that game for a bit. The world is amazing, just amazing. All the different creatures, everything that has to do with, you know, the mutagen and making potions and magic is so wonderful. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Just watch the season. That's my review. Maybe in another video, I'll talk more about spoilers. But I think this is a pretty good review that I did, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I lied. Sorry. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Anyway, peace out. Love you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.